I'm Chef Michi and welcome to KTA Kitchens. Today I'm going to show you how to make a steakhouse ribeye with a porcini gorgonzola sauce. We'll start off with showing you some of the ingredients. We've got 1.5 pounds of prime ribeye steak cut into individual portions. Garlic salt. We do have fresh ground pepper, which is going to be used for the steak and for the sauce. Some canola oil for your pan. Half a cup of dried porcini mushroom. You also can substitute shiitake mushrooms for this ingredient. Porcini tends to be a little expensive, so you can get absolutely wonderful flavor from porcini or shiitake. 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped Italian parsley. 1 cup of half and half and half a cup of gorgonzola cheese. And you're just going to need a little pinch of salt. We're going to start off by making the sauce. To 1 cup of boiling water, we're going to add those dried porcini mushrooms or shiitake if you're substituting. Just let them simmer for just a little while. If you haven't had porcini mushroom, they have a rich umami flavor. It's just going to permeate the sauce. It goes wonderfully with the steak. We actually came up with this sauce one night just by chance. I had porcini, I had gorgonzola. I don't know what happened, but it all came together, and this is the most amazing sauce you'll ever have. It beats anything you ever will have in a steakhouse. So this is really it. It's very fast to make, very easy. You're going to strain the mushrooms. Just get as much as you can out of the pot. You're going to put it straight back on there. And this liquid right here, I call it porcini gold. It's like liquid gold. But what we want to do is just keep your pan hot, because we're going to reduce that sauce by half. And all you have to do is just bring it so it starts to steam and boil, and what happens is all the water will start evaporating and the flavor is just intensified the less water there is. You just want to reduce it by half. We're going to just start adding our aromatics. So we've got some black pepper, and I'm just seasoning it as I go. Teeny little bit of salt, not too much. And I'm putting only a little bit of salt because this gorgonzola cheese has a wonderfully sharp, salty flavor to it, and that's where most of the flavor from the sauce is going to come from, that and the mushroom. So we're already bubbling away. The liquid is actually almost at half at this point. I'm going to add in the Italian parsley. We're going to add in half and half, very slowly. Just give it a quick chop. Doesn't have to be super fine, because actually those mushroom pieces in the sauce just makes it have a really nice texture, something to bite into. Okay, we're going to finish off this sauce and get on those steaks. All you need to do is take those chopped porcini mushroom pieces and put it in there. Your sauce has already come down with that gentle simmering. It's gotten thicker. This is going to do the trick. You take that gorgonzola, roll that into the pot, and you want to just take a fork or a whisk and just kind of start mashing up that gorgonzola. And then we're going to just let this sit on your stove on a very low heat. And by the time our steaks are done, it's all going to come together. So I'm going to leave that alone. And for the steaks, I like to go simple. I don't want to overdress this steak. I really want the flavor of the meat to come through. This is a ribeye. It can be a more expensive piece of meat. Sirloin, T-bone, New York, any of those are going to work, because the sauce is just going to do the trick no matter what. Go a little light-handed on your salt and pepper, just enough to bring out the flavor of the meat. I like to use garlic salt rather than regular salt a lot of times, because you're not only getting the flavor of salt, but you also have a little kick of garlic in there. So it's kind of my favorite go-to spice. I'm going to flip these over. Now, I would love to barbecue, but we can't always have access to a barbecue. And today, I'm just going to show you it's just as simple to do it in a pan. And again, just be careful not to overcook your steak. That's the biggest thing you want to think about as you're cooking these steaks. Don't walk away. Just stay by your stove for those couple minutes. Real easy. We're going to take the canola oil and drizzle it over the pan. I've preheated mine so it's ready to go. And then we're just going to put those steaks on there. You want to hear that sizzle when the pan goes on. What that means is it's hot. It's going to sear and caramelize the meat immediately when it touches the pan. That's a real happy sound. I'm going to check my sauce again, and just, you're right here next to each other. Just give your sauce a little love and give it a stir. You don't forget about it. It's really looking good. It's smelling great. And again, I'm adjusting my heat, and don't be afraid to do this as you go. You're always wanting to adjust things. I'm seeing it kind of bubbling a little too strongly, so I'm going to turn my heat down just a touch. Keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't stop simmering. That's what you want. And now what I find with my steaks is whether you're doing it on the barbecue or in a pan like this, just take a little corner and kind of lift it up. And if that meat is readily coming off of the pan or your grill, it really is ready to flip. That means that the meat has cooked. If it's sticking, then don't touch it. That means that it still needs some time cooking. All right, I just pulled those steaks off of my pan and plated them, and you'll notice I did put it on a clean plate. This is just a simple safety issue. You never want to put your cooked steaks onto the plate where you had your raw steak. There's a chance of contamination. So to plate this, the best way is to put a layer of sauce underneath your steak, like so, and just a drizzle on the plate will do. Then lay your steak right on top and put a little more sauce right on top of your steak. Now this is where the best part of the day comes, is when I get to take a bite of this particular steak. But just make sure it's cooked a nice medium rare. That's fantastic. Now, I love to have a nice glass of Cabernet Sauvignon with my steak. It's a perfect pairing. The rich gorgonzola sauce, the steak, and a beautiful glass of red wine. I'm Chef Michi. Thank you for joining me with KTA Kitchens. Aloha.